Hi everyone, I'm back again. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for listening to my presentations. Today I'll be talking about a very common problem, particularly to nursing parents, mothers and fathers, daycare centers, about sleep problems in children. Okay, you are aware of that or not? Let's go. Why the concern? We should feel concerned about sleep problems in children because it affects the following. It can affect the growth and development of the child. It can affect the memory, emotions, cognition, socialization, and behavioral changes. In other words, good sleep will help the child to grow well in addition to other factors like good diet, and for sure it will affect the memory and could affect the behavior of the child and the way he or she will comprehend things and socialize with other kids and even adults in society. What are the signs of sleep problems in children? There's possibility of motor overactivity. They can become restless because they'll be struggling to overcome the aftermath of not sleeping last night. So they'll be struggling to stay awake and then they become overactive. They can become inattentive when they are overpowered by their sleepiness the following day. They could become irritable because they just want to sleep and sometimes become oppositional deviant. Behaviors that they won't follow instructions, the teachers will have problems controlling them in the class because they just want to sleep. It is associated with difficulty initiating sleep or difficulty maintaining the sleep if at all the child could initiate the sleep. Could be associated with anxiety, particularly if there is family disharmony, or could be associated with depression in adolescents. Where are the areas of concern? We need to be concerned about the bedtime. Do we have a set goals as per when to go to bed and everything in the room for the child? Also, we should consider daytime sleepiness because some parents have their children sleeping or hanging around the caregiver and they themselves are not in the center of when the child goes to bed and when the child is prepared for the daycare or for school. But the daycare centers and class teachers may be calling that your son or your daughter is sleeping throughout the day. Then you should watch it. He or she has not gotten a good sleep the prior night. Night awakeness, nightmares, or sleepwalking could be some of the possible associated conditions that are going to peak in such children. You just wake up in the middle of the night and going downstairs or climbing upstairs or moving from one room to the other, and some may not even know that such happened. And some of those kids will complain about nightmares. Watch it. They didn't have good night's rest. We should ask ourselves how regular had been the sleep pattern of my kid. And then you could help that child by setting a time to go to bed. Some families will have what is called light out by 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. If you don't make it a routine and regular, then the sleeping pattern may not be regular as well. How long does he or she sleep till? You need to know, is this child sleeping enough? 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, depending on the age. We'll get to that in a bit. Is this child snoring? If the child is snoring, that could affect the sleeping time and pattern. And of course, any apnea, and no child will be able to tell you that there's apnea or not, except there's someone who would have slept by the side or at least in the same room, or there's camera monitoring the child. Before you could know that, there's no way to know. What strategies or steps taken before now? What have you done to ameliorate the problem? What have you tried to make sure he or she is sleeping well? Do you have cameras monitoring the child? Or is the child sleeping in the same room, on the same bed with you? Do you have sleep diary or sleep log? And do you know the total number of hours, including daytime naps? And if you have the total number of hours per day, that is including the daytime naps, compare that to the number of hours required for that age group. And I will give you that list in a bit. Okay, here's it. Get the sleep hours right. Because so many parents will complain about sleeping hours, not sleeping enough, sleeping too much. Okay, here's the solution as per how long the child should sleep. If you are a new mother, I mean, you have a newborn baby, congratulations. So any child between the first 3 months of life or neonates, the first 28 days of life, let them sleep for as long as 16 hours. Yes, 16 hours. The remaining hours is for changing the diaper, bathing, and feeding. The rest, let them continue to sleep. Infants, that is, those kids between 3 and 12 months old, allow them to sleep for 12 to 14 hours every day, including the daytime naps. Add everything together. Within 24 hours, 12 to 14 hours for infants. For toddlers, okay, those between the ages of 1 to 2 years, let them sleep for 10 to 13 hours. That'll be fine. 10 to 13 hours. Preschoolers between 3 to 5 years old, 10 to 12 hours is fine for them. And school age groups, yeah, because they have a lot to do. That is kids between 6 and 13 years. The older they become, because by the time we want to compare this, I will not want someone at the age of 6 and age of 13 to be judged the same way, okay? But average of 9 to 11 hours will be fine. Teenagers, people 14 to 17 years old, of course they're in high school or wherever, after middle school and high school, 8 to 10 hours is enough for them. Young adults, that is 18 years to 25 years, 7 to 9 hours will be fine. And I'm not going to exempt my uncles, the elderly ones, dads and moms also, and grandma and grandpa. 65 years and above, 7 to 8 hours will be fine. However, note this. These figures that I've given here, anything -2 +2 will be fine, okay? So if, for example, if a toddler is sleeping 8 to 15 hours, that is still fine. Or school age is sleeping 11 or 7 to 13 hours, that's fine. So -2 +2 is okay. I have decided to bring this out because we are not going to blame parents for working. You are working to meet the needs of the family, and you've now come back home late. You need to get out early in the morning. You wake the child up so as to meet your own time, and you package everything and you put the child into daycare. And the daycare are so busy, play music, and so on. And the nap time, the daytime, by the time you come back, evening time, you get back home to go to bed and everything, the child is not having no good hours of sleep. It's going to have long-term effects on that particular child. So it's very, very, very necessary to watch the number of hours. Good sleep will give you good results in that child. Polysomnography. Polysomnography is meant for characterization of sleep anomalies. It is performed in a sleep laboratory. It's involving all-night recording, where some will what it calls split recordings. Don't worry, I'm going to make a separate presentation on polysomnography by the time I'll be done with sleep problems. So I'll still go into details later. We measure EEG, eye movement, muscle tone, respiratory function, oximetry, cardiac rhythms, cardiac electrical activities by EKG, and sounds that will be detected by microphone. We get all those done while having polysomnography. Is used to detect anomalies during sleep, like obstructive sleep apnea, and so on. What are the possible indications for polysomnography? We can have obstructive sleep apnea as the reason why we're going to call for that, or narcolepsy, or periodic limb movement disorder. Some will call it periodic limb movements of sleep. When someone is having that, then there must be polysomnography done. When someone is on continuous positive airway pressure or bi-level positive airway pressure and so on, and you need to titrate your parameters, then you have polysomnography done. If anyone, a child, is diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, then we have it done. Parasomnia or restless leg syndrome. There's what they call actigraphy. This is used by sleep specialists. The kind of wristwatch-like device. It monitors movement at night. It could be worn for almost 2 weeks. It is better than polysomnography because it captures many days, even when the individual is away from the home. If the child can't initiate sleep early, ask about the following. What is the pattern of exertion or sports he or she has been involved in? How about homework and homework time? When is the homework done? Okay? When is dinner time? I remember there was a particular ethnic group that I was familiar with in the past. They will have their dinner time when the entire family will come home around 7 to 8 p.m. They'll start cooking. By the time they are done cooking, it will be about 9:30 p.m. thereabout. That is when they'll start eating, and they'll be going to bed around 11 and 12 a.m. thereabout. Imagine that. Watching television phones, and so on. Are you taking care of that? Because some kids will be so glued to the couch watching the TV for longer hours than necessary. They'll be dozing, waking up, and still continue watching. That's not healthy. Sedentary lifestyle will make it more difficult to initiate sleep. So, exertion, but not close to the bedtime. Exercise close to the bedtime is not healthy. And of course, genetics. Everything is now traceable to, well, don't let me exaggerate, don't let me say everything, but many things that human beings will exhibit nowadays could be traced back to either the lineage of the father or the lineage of the mother. For example, there's a particular family that I'm familiar with. The the young boy in the family will sleep just like the way the father would sleep. People could be hanging around talking. Once he's not talking, he's not busy, he'll be sleeping. And that's the way the dad is also. Routine before sleep. So many families have their routines like reading or praying or meditation. You need to know all this. Then, how many people are in the room? That's another issue. When, for reasons of lack of sufficient funds, some families live in overcrowded environment, and two, three people in one room, one will want it hot, the other one will want it cold, the other one will want it normal. The other one will want the light on, another one will want it turned off. One would like to listen to music before sleeping, the other one doesn't want to hear any sound. So, you can understand that. Too cold or too hot, just said it. And of course, bad parenting. Don't blame me. I'm not blaming you as a parent. Just say that I'm a parent too, fortunate to be, but I'm just saying that some of us will allow our child to be changing sleeping rooms because of one complaint or the other. For example, the child wakes up in the middle of the night and tells you, I have nightmares, or I don't like my room. And you've checked the room, you've not found anything that will not make the child to sleep, and it's okay, go to room B, go and sleep there. And the following day, he or she wakes up again and tells you, I don't like this room, I don't want to stay there. That kind of habit, if you continue to indulge the child that way, you will not get out of the problem. We need to ask for any history of nightmares, and that is very common in anxious kids or kids with post-traumatic stress disorder. History of restless leg syndrome or periodic limb movements at sleep or periodic limb movement disorder in children. We need to find out if there's any pain anywhere. Yeah, that could keep anybody awake, not only children. How about gastroesophageal reflux disease? Because when they lay down flat for a long period of time, that would disturb them and they wake up. And some cannot explain fully, but some, the adolescents, will be able to tell. Dyspnea, shortness of breath, and is this child on any medication, particularly stimulants? So it won't be a surprise to me if somebody is on Ritalin for attention deficit and hyperactive disorder, and the mother will tell me, she's not sleeping well. I can understand that. And I pray you are not giving the child coffee when you are having coffee, but you are not even supposed to be having coffee at bedtime. But I can't rule your family. But if your child is zipping it, then don't complain. He or she may not sleep. Excessive daytime sleepiness. That's a big issue. when a child has not gotten enough hours of good sleep overnight, then the following morning we're going to be dealing with attention deficit, hyperactivity, that is hyperactive disorder, and a wrong diagnosis of ADHD could even be made. That is, they are trying to keep awake. They want to participate in the class routines, the song, the dancing, particularly the daycare people with good centers that have music and routine of singing and dancing. They want to do that, and kindergarten classes. So they are trying their best to keep awake. In adolescent, who will be driving, they could be drowsing and driving, and you know the implication of that? Road traffic accidents. I know what could happen. If they are lucky, they may get out of it and have insurance fix their vehicles. They could kill someone else, and they could die if they are not even permanently maimed for life. So you could see how heavy this topic is. They will tell you they didn't have sufficient sleep. And some adolescents are having shift duties. And of course, one horrible thing that should not cause problem, that is causing problem, is video games. Video games. I've seen a kid, the following morning, Yanni, what's the problem? Said, I slept late last night. I said, really? When did you go to bed? Said, 3:30 a.m. What? 3:30 a.m.? And by the time I was talking to him, it was about 10 a.m. Okay? And I said, what kept you that long throughout the night? Said, I was playing video games. I just kept quiet. I couldn't say anything. But I blame the parents. Okay? Narcolepsy, Clevin-Levin syndrome, that is a rare syndrome of excessive sleep hypersomnia. So, our parents, this is for us. It's our job. And wishing you well as you continue to adjust to make sure that these children have good hours of sleep so that their memory, cognition, and behavior will be normal. Thanks for listening to my presentation. I will be presenting some other topics related to this: snoring, obstructive sleep apnea, central sleep apnea, and polysomnography, including the treatment of all these anomalies. Watch out. I appreciate it. Thanks.